name is Jim Strader. I grew up in the projects in East Boston, not a pretty poor household. Noisy, could hear all the neighbors fighting all the time. It was crazy. When I was about 6 years old, I got my first transistor radio, and it became my friend, that radio. It's the only way I can go to bed at night, sleep at night, is put that under, drowned out. You know, the guys next door beating their kids or their wives, or, it was just comfort to me. So I used to be awed by being able to listen to Chicago, St. Louis, Cleveland, Buffalo, Toronto, and all that. And when I was 12 years old, my brother gave up his paper route, and I was able to take it over. And when we delivered the money, we had to bring it down to downtown Boston. And there I discovered this one street that'd probably be like Canal Street in New York, where it was just 14-foot high glass windows with different radios. And there was this big giant billboard thing, or those cardboard things, this lady laying on the ocean, and the train is oceanic, and I just stare at this and read all the writing, and it'd talk about, hearing anywhere in the world, and the news when it happens, and all this, and a dream I could, look at. Because its price, I forget what it was a lot of money. It was over $100 back then. And so a salesman comes out one day and goes, "Man, you really like that radio. You're always looking. I see you every Saturday." And I tell him, I have a paper route. I bring my money up to the Boston Globe on the other side of the Common. And he goes, "Tell you what," he goes, "here's my card. Here's the price of the radio." He goes, "Christmas is coming up." He goes, "Show your old man that, and see what he thinks." And I go, "Wow, look at this, So I take it home, and I remember, and I'm sitting there, and handed it over to my father, and, he's kind of an angry old bastard anyways. But he looks at it and he goes, $169. He goes, "That's more money than I take home in 2 weeks. There isn't a radio in the world that's worth that." And kind of flung it back at me, So the next week, I'm back there anyways, and I'm staring at this radio again. This salesman comes out and he goes, "What'd your dad say?" And I says, "My dad said it'd take 2 weeks take-home pay to buy a radio like that. And, money don't grow on trees," or something like that. The guy goes, "Really?" And he started asking me where I lived and all this different stuff. He goes, "Hold on, kid." And he goes out back and he gets this brand new transoceanic, fills it full of batteries, and goes, "Come on with me." And we go out like in the middle of the street because they didn't allow traffic that way. It was mostly people walking and stuff. Just turn it on. And we sat there and read the directions together and how to get the different bands. Man, I just couldn't believe what I could hear. Different languages that I had no idea what I was listening to, but looking at changing through all the dials. He goes, "Hey, come by next Saturday, I'll let you play with it some more." And for 2 years, I went down to this electronics place and they let me play with these radios.
My name is Richard Cuff, and I am the co-chair of the Winter Shortwave Listeners Festival. My dad was an electrical engineer, and he built his first tube radio at age 8 in the 1930s. Of course, being like any rational father, he wanted to share his love of radio onto his son. So I remember one year he built a Lafayette Explorer, super regenerative receiver kit, and gave that to me for Christmas. And that was my first shortwave radio. Had it up in my bedroom with wire running around the woodwork, 3 sides of the room. I distinctly remember the exotic sounding place of Hilversum, Holland, and the fact that I could listen to Radio Moscow at pretty much any time of the day or night, and there was always a frequency somewhere that was really easy to hear in western New York State.
This is Moscow. Good evening, everybody. You are tuned to the North American service of Radio Moscow, operating in a 19, 25, and 31 meter band.
My name's Mike Rohde. I lived in California. My father was an electrical engineer and a radar engineer, and came home one day with a big Hammerland radio, and we put it in our garage, and he threw about 20 feet of copper wire on it and turned it on, and there was Radio Japan like it was next door.
日本放送協会 NHK の国際放送です。東京からお送りします。 This is Radio Japan, the overseas broadcasting service of NHK in Tokyo.